There comes a moment in every person's life when the world tries to pull them in 100 different directions. Your mind becomes a battlefield, distractions attacking from every angle. But the secret to building an extraordinary life is simple. Don't lose focus. Focus is not just a mental skill. It is the force that determines the direction, speed, and quality of your entire life. Every person on this planet has energy, ideas, dreams, and goals, but very few have the ability to channel all of that power into one clear path. That is what makes focus extraordinary. It turns ordinary efforts into remarkable achievements by giving your mind a single target to lock onto. When you learn to focus, you stop fighting battles that don't matter. You stop responding to every distraction, every noise, every meaningless demand that tries to steal your attention. Your mind becomes sharper, your decisions become wiser, and your actions become faster and more precise. Focus helps you cut through the chaos of life and directs all your strength toward what truly matters. Think of your energy like sunlight scattered. It warms, concentrated. It becomes a laser that can cut through steel. That is the power of focus. It transforms your potential into something unstoppable. It gives you control over your thoughts, over your habits, over your time. Instead of being pulled in 100 directions, you choose only direction and move with purpose. Most people fail not because they lack talent, but because they lack focus. They waste energy on distractions, on excuses, on temporary pleasures, on trying to impress people who don't even matter. But those who master focus build doors where others see walls. They create opportunities where others see obstacles. They make progress every day because their attention is invested, not scattered. Focus is your hidden superpower. It is the silent engine behind every success story, the invisible strength behind every achievement. When you learn to control your focus, you learn to control your future. Your environment is not just the space around you. It is the silent architect of your thoughts, your habits, and your destiny. Whether you realize it or not, the places you spend time in, the voices you listen to, and the energy you allow into your life all play a powerful role in shaping your level of focus. You cannot rise while living in a space that pulls you downward, and you cannot build a disciplined mind in a chaotic environment that constantly steals your attention. Your environment is made up of more than physical surroundings. It includes the people you interact with daily. Some people ignite your ambition, while others drain your energy. Some inspire growth, while others encourage distraction. You can have the strongest goals in the world, but if you surround yourself with individuals who don't believe in discipline, consistency, or progress, eventually their mindset will infect yours. The truth is simple. You can't fly if you spend your time with people who refuse to leave the ground. Even small environmental factors have massive influence. A messy room creates a messy mind. A noisy workspace creates a scattered mind. A phone full of notifications creates a distracted mind. Your environment teaches your brain what to focus on, and if you don't take control of it, it will be controlled by default and usually not in your favor. When you intentionally design your environment, you strengthen your focus without even trying. A clean desk invites clarity. A quiet space invites concentration. A supportive circle invites discipline. When your environment is built for growth, your mind naturally follows that path. You stop fighting resistance and instead move with flow because everything around you aligns with your goals. Your environment can be a prison that traps you in distractions, or it can be a sanctuary that sharpens your purpose. The choice to shape it is yours, and the moment you take control of what surrounds you, you take control of what becomes possible for you. Distractions don't always come in the form of something obvious or harmful. In fact, the most dangerous distractions are the ones that feel harmless The quick check of your phone, the unnecessary scrolling, the mindless conversations, the small tasks that make you feel busy but never move you forward. These distractions quietly steal your time, your mental energy, and your ability to stay committed to your goals. Every time you get pulled away from what you should be doing, your brain loses momentum. Focus is like a powerful train. Once it's moving, it becomes unstoppable. But when distractions force it to stop and restart, progress becomes slow and frustrating. You may not notice it immediately, but each distraction takes a piece of your productivity, a piece of your motivation, and a piece of your potential. Distractions are not just external, they are internal too. Overthinking, self-doubt, and emotional reactions are distractions that live inside your own mind. They whisper lies like, "I'll do it later," "I'm too tired," or "I deserve a break." And before you realize it, hours are gone. These internal distractions can be even more dangerous because they disguise themselves as logic or comfort, but in reality, they sabotage your growth. The world today is designed to distract you. Every app, every advertisement, every notification is created to capture your attention because your attention has value. But if you don't protect that attention, you will spend your life reacting instead of creating, consuming instead of building, watching others live their dreams instead of chasing your own. True progress requires intention. It requires the strength to ignore, the discipline to turn off the noise, and the awareness to recognize what is pulling you away from your purpose. When you learn to reject distractions, not just avoid them, but actively reject them, you reclaim your power. You start living by choice, not by impulse. You start creating clarity instead of chaos. And you begin to see how much faster your life moves forward when your attention is invested in the right direction. Discipline is the silent guardian of your focus. It is the invisible shield that stands between you and every distraction, every impulse, and every excuse that tries to pull you off course. Motivation may give you a push, but it is discipline that keeps you moving long after motivation fades. Anyone can feel inspired for a moment, but only disciplined individuals can stay committed for months and years, even on days when nothing feels easy. Discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistency. It is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you are tired, bored, stressed, or unmotivated. It is waking up when you don't feel like it, putting in effort when no one is watching, and choosing long-term success over momentary comfort. Discipline turns your goals from wishes into priorities and priorities into actions. Most people lose focus because they rely on emotion. They wait until they feel like it, but those feelings are unpredictable and unreliable. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't ask how you feel, it asks what you want your life to become. It reminds you of the bigger picture, the vision, the purpose behind your efforts. It doesn't allow you to negotiate with your excuses. When you build discipline, you take control of your life. You no longer allow distractions to decide your direction. You no longer let laziness dictate your progress. You start building systems, routines, and habits that automatically take your focus. This means fewer decisions, less mental clutter, and more clarity about what truly matters. Discipline also creates a sense of self-respect. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you are capable, reliable, and strong. You build trust in your own abilities, and that trust becomes fuel for greater achievements. The more disciplined you become, the easier it is to stay focused because you train your mind to obey your intentions instead of your impulses. Discipline is the foundation that supports every dream you have. Without it, even the most powerful goals collapse. But with discipline, even the biggest challenges become manageable because you approach them with structure, consistency, and unwavering commitment to your purpose. Clarity is the foundation of true focus. Without clarity, the mind wanders. Without clarity, your energy becomes scattered. Without clarity, you spend more time guessing what to do than actually doing it. When you don't have a clear direction, everything looks like an option, and too many options destroy concentration. Clarity means knowing exactly what you want, why you want it, and what steps will take you there. It strips away confusion and gives your mind a single target to aim at. When your goals are clear, distractions lose their power because your brain understands what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Clarity acts like a mental compass, keeping you aligned with your purpose no matter how noisy life becomes. Most people struggle with focus not because they're lazy or incapable, but because they lack direction. They wake up without a plan, start the day reacting instead of leading, and end the day wondering where their time went. Their mind is busy but not productive. They confuse movement with progress, but clarity changes everything. When you know your mission for the day, you move with intention instead of impulse. Clarity also simplifies decision making. Instead of constantly asking yourself, should I do this? You begin asking, does this bring me closer to my goal? That one question filters out 90% of distraction. It gives you mental peace because you're no longer torn between choices. You're guided by purpose. Creating clarity requires honesty. You must be willing to admit what truly matters to you and what doesn't. You must define your priorities, your vision, and the specific actions that will move you forward. When you take the time to map out your goals, your brain becomes sharper, your actions become more efficient, and your days become more meaningful. Clarity transforms your focus from fragile to unbreakable. It gives you the ability to lock your attention on something with precision, intensity, and confidence. And when your mind knows exactly where it's going, distractions can't pull you away as easily because you're not just working hard, you're working with direction and purpose. Time is the most valuable resource you will ever possess, yet is the one most people waste without thinking. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose opportunities and create new ones, but once time slips away, once a second passes, once a day disappears, you can never reclaim it. It is gone forever. That reality alone should make you guard your time with the highest level of seriousness. Every minute you spend on distractions, on unnecessary drama, on scrolling without purpose, or on people who don't contribute to your growth is a minute you will never get back. Many people treat time as if it's unlimited. But the truth is harsh. Your life is made of a limited number of hours, and every wasted hour shortens the gap between where you are and where you could have been. The difference between successful people and average people is not talent or luck. It is how they use their time. When you understand the true value of time, you start becoming selective. You stop giving hours to things that don't matter. You stop being available to everyone and everything. You stop saying yes to tasks, commitments, and distractions that add nothing to your life. Instead, you begin to prioritize your goals, your mental peace, your future, and your growth. You begin to understand that time invested wisely becomes progress, but time wasted becomes regret. Your time reflects your priorities. Where your hours go, your life goes. If you want success, your time must be spent on growth. If you want mastery, your time must be spent on learning. If you want progress, your time must be spent on discipline. Time is the currency that builds your future, and every day you decide whether to invest it or waste it. Most people don't lose focus because they lack ambition. They lose focus because they don't value their time enough to protect it. They allow interruptions, procrastination, and distractions to steal minutes, then hours, then days. But when you begin to see time as precious, sacred, and irreplaceable, your focus naturally sharpens. You start treating every hour like an opportunity, not something to kill or pass casually. Consistency is the quiet force that transforms small efforts into extraordinary achievements. It is not about how hard you work once. It's about how repeatedly you show up, how faithfully you commit, and how steadily you move forward even when progress feels slow or invisible. People often look at successful individuals and believe they achieve greatness through one big breakthrough. But the truth is that success is almost always the result of long-term consistency, not sudden moments of brilliance. Consistency creates momentum, and momentum is the energy that makes hard things feel easier over time. At the beginning of any journey, every step feels heavy, every task feels demanding, every habit feels uncomfortable, but the more consistently you repeat something, more familiar and automatic it becomes. The brain adapts. The body adapts. Your mindset shifts from, I have to do this, to, this is who I am. That identity shift only happens when you stay consistent long enough for discipline to evolve into habit. Most people fail not because their goals are impossible, but because they stop too soon. They want immediate results, instant progress, and quick validation. When they don't see quick rewards, they convince themselves they're not improving. But consistency often works silently. Your efforts compound behind the scenes, and the results show up later, sometimes much later, like a delayed reward for your perseverance. Consistency also builds trust within yourself. Every day you follow through, you prove to your mind that you're reliable, capable, and committed. This inner trust becomes emotional fuel. It strengthens your confidence and pushes you to aim higher. Every small action, every repeated habit, every disciplined choice adds another brick to the foundation of your future. When you stay consistent, you separate yourself from the majority. Most people quit when things get tough. Most people give up when the excitement fades. Most people start strong but finish nothing. But consistency allows you to keep going long after others have stopped. It positions you ahead simply because you refused to stop moving. Small daily improvements stacked over time become massive transformations. Consistency is slow, quiet, and sometimes boring, but it is the single most powerful force that turns dreams into reality. Mental energy is one of the most precious forms of fuel you possess. It determines how well you think, how effectively you solve problems, how deeply you focus, and how consistently you move toward your goals. Yet most people allow their mental energy to be drained by trivial things long before they ever use it on what truly matters. Protecting your mental energy is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone who wants clarity and long-term success. Your mind is like a battery. Every thought, every decision, every conversation, every worry drains a little bit of that battery. When you constantly expose yourself to negativity, gossip, drama, pointless arguments, or environments full of noise and chaos, you burn through your mental energy without even realizing it. By the time you sit down to work on your goals, you feel tired, not because you did anything meaningful, but because you wasted your mental strength on things that deserved nothing from you. Mental energy protection also means controlling your internal world. Overthinking, replaying past mistakes, trying to impress others, worrying about things outside your control. These habits silently exhaust your mind. Even if you do nothing physically, your brain becomes fatigued from carrying the weight of unnecessary thoughts. Protecting your mental energy requires emotional discipline. It means learning to let go of what you cannot control and refusing to entertain thoughts that weaken your spirit. The people you allow into your life also play a major role in your mental energy. Some people bring calm, clarity, and motivation. Others bring confusion, noise, and stress. And when you spend time with individuals who constantly complain, create drama, or drain your peace, your focus becomes scattered. You cannot build a powerful life with people who weaken your energy. Sometimes protecting your mental energy means creating distance, setting boundaries, and choosing solitude over chaos. Mental energy also depends on how well you rest and recharge. Your mind cannot stay sharp if you never take breaks, if you never disconnect, or if you constantly push yourself until exhaustion. Rest is not laziness. Rest is rebuilding. It rejuvenates your ability to think clearly, to make better decisions, and to return to your goals with renewed strength. When you protect your mental energy, everything improves. Your focus, your creativity, your mood, your productivity, and your sense of direction. You become more selective with your attention and more intentional with your actions. You stop reacting to every noise around you and start moving with purpose. Protecting your mental energy is ultimately about respecting your mind, your time, and your future. Your mind is not fixed, and your ability to focus is not something you are simply born with. Just like a muscle, your mind can grow stronger, sharper, and more disciplined, but only if you train it consistently. People often underestimate how powerful mental training can be. They invest hours into building their bodies, improving their skills, or managing their careers, yet overlook the most important tool of all, the mind that controls everything. Training your mind begins with intentional practice. Every time you resist a distraction, every time you push yourself to stay focused a little longer, every time you choose discipline over impulse, you are strengthening your mental muscles. Over time, these small acts accumulate and reshape the way your brain operates. What once felt difficult becomes easier. What once required maximum effort becomes your natural state. Your mind becomes stronger through challenge, not comfort. When you practice concentration, whether through reading, meditation, deep work, or simply focusing on one task without switching, you build neural pathways that make focus more automatic. Just like lifting weights increases your physical strength. Forcing your mind to remain present increases your mental endurance. But training the mind also means confronting the internal weaknesses that limit growth. Doubt, fear, laziness, procrastination. These are like mental illnesses that weaken your focus. When you push through these barriers instead of surrendering to them, you build mental resilience. You teach your brain that it is capable of pushing beyond emotional resistance. Your thoughts shape your mindset, and your mindset shapes your results. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, comparison, or excuses, you weaken it. But if you feed it discipline, positive habits, and purposeful action, and focused thinking, you strengthen it. Your mind becomes your ally instead of your obstacle. Just like physical training, mental training requires consistency. You cannot meditate once and expect lifelong clarity. You cannot focus deeply for one day and expect permanent discipline. Growth happens in repetition. Discipline grows in practice. Mental power builds slowly but undeniable and nurtured daily. When you train your mind like a muscle, you become harder to distract, harder to break, and harder to stop. You begin to think with clarity, act with purpose, and pursue your goals with strength that others can't see but always feel. Your goals are not just ideas floating in your mind. They are reflections of your potential, your desires, and the life you want to create for yourself. They represent the future version of you that is waiting to be built. But that future can only become real if you give your goals the attention, respect, and commitment they truly deserve. Too many people dream big but act small. They talk about what they want, but their daily actions show hesitation, inconsistency, and distraction. Your goals deserve more than occasional effort. They deserve more than excitement fades after a few days. They deserve your full focus because they hold the power to transform your life. When you ignore your goals or treat them as optional, you are not just delaying progress, you are denying yourself the opportunity to grow into the person you are meant to be. Giving your goals attention means prioritizing them, protecting your time for them, and making decisions that align with them. It means waking up with purpose instead of drifting through the day without direction. It means putting effort into your future even when the results are not yet visible. Your goals are seeds. They grow only if you water them consistently, not when you feel like it. Most people spend more time focusing on problems than possibilities, on entertainment than improvement, on the distractions than development. But your life changes the moment you shift your attention toward what matters. When you give your goals a central place in your daily life, your focus becomes stronger, your productivity increases, and your vision grows clearer. Your goals are also a reflection of your self-worth. When you chase them with intensity, you tell yourself, I am capable of greatness When you ignore them, you send the message that your dreams are not important enough. The truth is, your goals deserve your attention because you deserve a life filled with accomplishment, fulfillment, and growth. Nothing meaningful is built by accident. Every milestone requires attention, effort, and intention. When you consistently give your goals the focus they deserve, you create momentum that pushes you forward even on difficult days. And with every step you take toward them, your confidence grows, your identity strengthens, and your future becomes brighter and more real. At the end of the day, your life will not be shaped by what you wish for, what you talk about, or what you dream of. It will be shaped by what you stay focused on. Every distraction you defeat, every excuse you overcome, every moment you choose discipline over comfort. These are the moments that build your future. You owe it to yourself to stay locked in, not for the world, not for the applause, not for the validation, but for the person you know you can become. There is a version of you, stronger, wiser, sharper, more capable, waiting on the other side of your focus. That version doesn't need luck. It doesn't need permission. It only needs your commitment. Life will try to pull you away. People will try to distract you. Doubt will whisper. Fear will shout. And obstacles will appear. But you must choose to rise above all of it. You must choose to protect your vision with everything you have. Because the moment you lose focus, you lose direction. And the moment you lose direction, you lose progress. So remind yourself every single day, I am here for a purpose. I am here with a mission. I am here to build something great. Don't lose focus. Not when you're tired, not when you're stressed, not when it gets hard, not when others quit. Stay committed to your path. Keep your eyes on the goal. Keep your heart in the vision. Keep your mind sharp and disciplined, because the world does not reward those who start. It rewards those who continue, those who persist, those who refuse to be distracted. Your future is calling. Your dreams are waiting for you. Your greatness depends on you.